before he can reach me. Now, one. Don't take it personally, he says smoothly. You've got to see her point of view. After all, what self-respecting woman would let you near him if she wasn't being paid for it? Bellatrix smirks at this, while Dolohop's colors up with resentment. Bellatrix flicks her wand at me, and I fall to the floor. I try to move, but my muscles are slack and useless. That's exactly the same curse that Lucius placed on me in the woods. I hate it. I hate it more than the bloody Bender curse, because my body can still move, should anyone else choose to move it for me. They can manipulate my body in any way they want to, and I'd have to accept it, because I'd have no choice. I've fallen onto my side. I suppose that's better than falling onto my back. At least from here I can see around the room. I look at Lucius, willing him to do something, anything to help me. But he doesn't even look at me. His eyes are fixed on a middle distance, deliberately looking anywhere else but at me. Coward. It's the only thought that comforts me. Go ahead, Antoine. Antoine again. Antonin? Antonin? I'm just gonna say Dolohov or Antoine. He's not famous. He's only famous as Dolohov. It's stupid that they keep calling him by his first name. Whatever. Okay. Go ahead, Antonin. Antonin. Anthony. I hate my parents. Anyways. Go ahead, Antoine, says Bellatrix smugly. She will not fight back now. I made sure of that. Is this really necessary, Bella? Asks Lucius, frowning at her. Isn't this somewhat beneath us? She is Muggle, after all. You said that she had too much pride, she replies. What better way to begin to take it away? As you say, she's Muggle. That makes her little more than an animal. And animals don't need clothing. It makes sense, doesn't it? He doesn't reply, but he gives the tiniest of nods. I take that nod and add it into the file of reasons to hate him. My insides shrivel up as Dolohov crouches down next to me, putting each item of clothing off of me with a terrible slowness. My skin crawls with 1,000 cockroaches. No, this cannot be happening. I want my mom and dad. I can't have them seeing me naked. They can't. No. Lucius won't look at me. I watch more to distract myself than anything else. I hate him so much that I can cling to for sanity. Look at me, you coward! Flakes of dried blood scatter lightly on my skin as my t-shirt is pulled over my head, and I stop. Stop, please stop. I would beg if I were able to speak. He peels my muddy jeans off of me, slowly edging them inch by inch down my legs. When I thought how nice it would be to have a change of clothing, that wasn't what I had in mind. Still, Lucius keeps his eyes off of me. He keeps them fixed on a middle distance. Look at me. Look what you wouldn't stop. Dolohov finally removes my underwear, and his breathing quickens over me. I would heave up a pathetic excuse for a meal they gave me, if I could. I look at Lucius with tears of pure humiliation in my eyes. Look at me. Why not? Why not? Look at me! At a moment, his eyes fall on me. He's not looking at my body. He stares straight into my eyes. Coward! I scream inwardly, forcing every atom of my being into those 2 syllables. His face clouds over me. He can hear what I'm thinking. Good. Then perhaps he will feel even the slightest bit as angry as I feel now. A cold, clammy hand rests on my ribs, and I can't even jump for shock. Oh God, it's so low. Isn't it enough for Dolohov that he has allowed to take off my clothes, for God's sake? It's almost as soon as he touches me that he draws breath and quickly pulls his hand from me as if it were burnt. I may be willing to accept you looking at her, but you can't touch her. Lucius is pointing his wand at Dolohov. She's a mudblood. Remember that. And don't try to show a bit of dignity. Oh, come on, Dolohov begins imploring, but Bellatrix cuts him off short. No, Antonin. Touching them is not allowed. You know that. We all know that. We all know that. If I could, I would shudder. Dolohov steps back from me with a reluctant sigh. I feel my body shiver. I recognize that feeling. It means that I can move again. I sit up as quickly as I can, pulling my knees up and hugging them to my chest, trying to cover as much of my body as possible. I look up at all of them. Dolohov is leering at me. Bellatrix is smiling gloatingly. Lucius' face is impassive. I hate how I can't do legitimacy like he can. I'd give anything to know what he's thinking. I've never found it so difficult to read a person as I do with him. So, Bellatrix turns to Lucius matter-of-factly. What do we have to get out of her first? Potter's relationship with his remaining family. Lucius replies, his voice clipped and businesslike. So far, she hasn't told us anything. She claims she never mentioned them to her. Does she now? Says Bellatrix, sneering at me. What method have you been using so far to make her talk? Antonin placed a curse on her. Lucius says indifferently. But it didn't seem to have much of an effect. I'd like to see him last 5 minutes of that curse. I'd like to administer it myself and watch the bastard scream and writhe in agony. Oh, yes. Ah, his old favorite. Bellatrix chuckles, turning to Dolohov. You know I admire it, Antoine. But you've got to branch out once in a while. Why branch out if it works? I hear the resentment in Dolohov's voice. She could have spoken soon enough if you hadn't interrupted us. Yes, I'm sure she would have. Lucius rolls his eyes at Bellatrix as she speaks. But I have to say I agree with you, Bella. Variety is, after all, the spice of life. Bellatrix smiles at him, and I cling with terror. Lucius, I'm sure that you would do better than Anton. She gestures at him. Please let me see your favorite methods. I might learn a trick or two, improve my technique, perhaps. God almighty, what am I, a lab rat? Lucius looks down at me, his face completely unreadable. Will he do it? I thought that perhaps, after what I said yesterday, he might not be able to hurt me today. How wrong I was. He calmly stepped forward towards me. Ow, son of a bitch! That is not part of the book. I just hurt myself. Ow. Fuck me. How do you... This thing that I am holding. How do you... Hold on. I'm not gonna stop it. Ouch. Now my ear hurts. Son of a I tripped up the stairs today hardcore. I was like running up the stairs and I run up my stairs on my tiptoes and then it didn't really pan out and so yeah. I like pulled all the toes back hella far because I like pushed all of my weight on them to try to jump and then I rammed into the part of my knee between like my bone and my knee, so like that tendon area right there, and then slam my leg into that, and whoo, hurt like a bitch. Anyways, I have to sit back. I'm getting horrible pains, and hurting myself, and not drinking water, and it's all bad. And losing the accent of Bellatrix Lestrange, slowly but surely. I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Notice how Hermione does not have an English accent. Just want to put that out. Like, everyone else has a form of an English accent. I'm like, nope, you're English. You're an American. You're American made. Even though the actual chick that plays her has a horrible American accent. I was hearing her on something, and it was like all of them reading something, and it was like Tom Felton could do it, and Rupert Grint could do it, but Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe were like, blah, 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 and it was just awful. Not the point. I'm getting that. Anyways, okay. How long is this recording? Oh my god, what if I wasn't recording? I'd be so pissed. Okay, it's 19 minutes long. I see. I should stop it. How wrong I was. Now I'm getting hoarse throat. How wrong I was. He calmly stepped towards me, twirling his wand over his fingers. I curled myself up tightly against a wall, determined to keep my body hidden from him. Not that he's interested in anyways. He stands above me and taps his wand against my chin, against his chin as he looks at me, making a show of deciding what method to use. How could I think that I'd gotten through to him? How could I be stupid enough to believe that Lucius Malfoy, the man who has murdered and tortured countless others without remorse, could feel pity for a mudblood teenager? He slowly brings his wand down, pointing it at my face. For a few moments, nothing happens. I wonder whether he's going to curse me. I shake in fear as I wait and I wonder. And then my eyes begin to burn. No, it can't be. It must be. I rub my eyes hastily, but as soon as it makes them worse, I keep rubbing them. But the burning gets worse and worse. Pins and needles, hundreds of injections in my eyes, animals crawling in and out of their sockets. I can still see. Everything's blurry, but I can still see through the gaps in my fingers. I rub at my eyes desperately, but there's this wetness. Tears or something else. I dash the liquid from my eyes, and my fingers come away with coats with blood. I can't take it. I begin to scream in shock and horror and agony as my eyes burn and I weep blood. And oh my god, how can I still see? I feel blood pop out of my eyes and stream down my face as it fills my nails and are being screwed into my eyeballs, scraping them out of their sockets. And I know that I can't go on. This could blind me. He hates them, all right? I scream at them. He can't stand them. He doesn't even live with them anymore. A few agonizing moments, nothing happens. But then my eyes stop burning. I breathe heavily, wiping the blood away from my face as best I can. I feel the warm, sticky, bittersweet-smelling liquid smear across my face under my fingers. When I open my eyes, my vision is no longer blurry. It still amazes me how I can be at the height of agony one minute, and yet perfectly all right in the next. That's magic for you. Magic doesn't seem as wonderful as it used to. I can see him. I can see them looking at each other, each of them wearing an expression of disappointment. Oh God, what did I tell them? It's okay. That can't